Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be out here talking about pushing around in colder climates with a wheelchair. You know, one of these things. I don't know if you guys can see me. Can you see me? Like, it's pretty dark, so I don't know how well the camera's going to pick me up, or even how well the audio is going to be because there's birds tweeting and shit like that. However, basically, I just want to talk today about some tips and issues that can happen while pushing in these colder climates. So icy roads, icy paths, snowy paths. You know, if there's any snow. So if there's any snow or anything in the area, you know, sometimes that can be a bit of an issue. So I'm just going to be talking about that, showing some tips, and yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So, right, first things first is what are some issues that can happen in colder weather. So first one being if the ground is like frozen or if there's like any ice on the road. Now I did a video ice skating and that honestly made it look fun, and it was fun, it is a good time, but there are some issues that are kind of similar to driving in cars. Obviously not quite the same, but very similar. So the first thing is that it's a bit difficult to push around, and you do need to change your pushing style a little bit. So if I head back up here quickly, um, when you're pushing, you will be pushing along, right, giving a bunch of pushes, and you might not go anywhere at all because your wheels will just be sliding on the spot and you will not make it very far, um, or at least as far as you want to be. So pushing is a bit of an issue. Um, this is like if the ground is completely frozen. Obviously, it may be slightly different because the grip will be better. Obviously, it may be a bit of an issue because the grip may be slightly different. However, I would recommend just keeping in mind that the wheels do need a bit of an extra oomph to get you going because they will just spin on the spot. So, obviously, since you're going to be spinning a lot, I'd recommend being big brain and turning on the light. Pushing along, the wheels will slip and spin before even getting to move. So what I'd recommend is some short, shallow pushes just to get you going. You know, I always say, and in the first wheelchair skills video that I did, I said to give big pushes and efficient pushes, but on the ice, you want to get your wheels spinning as quickly as you can, just so you can start to move. At least that's what I'd recommend. Now, stopping is another issue, obviously. You'd want to be able to stop. So what I'd recommend for that is pushing backwards. So doing this, which is how you go backwards. That is always a massive help because you're pushing along, and then if you just suddenly put on your brakes and like hold on to your wheels, you're not going to go anywhere normally. But if you're on the ice, you will just continue to move, and that's not what you want. So pulling backwards and reversing does help. And since you're just going to be slowing down, assuming the grip isn't that good, then it does help to like just pull back, because normally if you're pushing along and you pull back, you're just going to stump forwards and it's not going to be very good. But because it's slippy, you're not going to do that. You're just going to slow down really quickly. A good thing. Obviously, it depends on the ground surface. I'm talking about if it's completely iced over, so just keep that in mind. But if there's any snow, right? If it's a snowier surface and snow is like getting in the way and it's difficult to push, this kind of relates to the back wheel balance, because this is something that I suffer with in the snow, is that my front wheels will get stuck in the snow. So something that I'd recommend is doing back wheel balance. That's just the best thing to do, like back wheel balance and just slowly pushing. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to do if it's snow and ice, but usually it's one or the other, so just keep that in mind, that if there is any ice under the snow, that it could cause some issues. But generally, every time that I've experienced a snowy surface, I've been able to just do a back wheel balance. Preferably keeping your wheels quite low to the ground. So for me, I'd recommend doing just a slight back wheel balance, keeping them just above the snow, maybe even touching the snow, and giving just some small pushes. I've got an entire YouTube video about back wheel balance if you're interested in it, and also how to move with it. But these are the two main issues that I think you'll find pushing in colder climates, just because it's either going to be snow or ice. Obviously, the push rims will always be cold. In colder weather, there's not much you can do about that, which is something that I want to complain to wheelchair companies about. Add heaters into the push rims. That would be absolutely amazing. But that is going to be all for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, I hope you learned something. But if you did enjoy, there's a like button down below. Feel free to press that. Don't have. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.